Welcome to the week of April 20th. I hope you all are doing well. I've got a couple things that I want to show you in this video that will help set up some of the basis of what we're going to be working on over the course of the next few weeks. But to begin with, let's talk about the announcement that I sent out earlier about the proposed schedule that Sarah's admin gave me. Now, when I say schedule, let me explain a couple things that are happening here. This is not about face-to-face Zoom meetings that are required for every single class. Some classes may ask to have Zoom meetings during this time. Other ones will not. The original ask that we got from admin was to make our materials available on these particular dates based on class period so that there would be no conflict with meetings or anything else that were happening in other classes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to put out a video at the beginning of the week, and I'll unlock the modules at the beginning of the week with all of the required assignments, videos, resources, and submission areas for you. But here's how my schedule is going to work based on what the administration has given me. For 5th and 6th period, which you're in either 5th or 6th, what I will do is I will have an open Zoom meeting room set up on those particular dates. So on Friday between 8 and 9, if you're in 5th period, I will have an open Zoom room there that's optional for you to pop in and ask me any questions or just hang out or show me your work so far, get feedback, whatever it is that you need. So for 5th period, that will be the hour of 8 to 9 a.m. For 6th period, that will be Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Also, once again, optional. And then as part of the pathway classes, that's going to be the Tuesday office hour that's going to be open to all of my classes. So that particular one may get a little busy, but it also may not since it is earlier in the morning. So not first period, on Tuesday, at 8 to 9 a.m., I will have open office hours, meaning I will also set up an optional Zoom room that will have access to me if you want to show up and ask me questions, show any material off, whatever you need, I will be available then as well. So what that means for you again is optional office hours are Tuesdays, 8 to 9. I will post the link to the Zoom room that you'll be able to access along with the password. And then if you're in 5th period, that will be on Friday. Optional Zoom room available from 8 to 9, and then from 10 to 11 for 6th period. If you have any questions on that, go ahead and go back through, read through this office hours announcement, and then hit me up with any questions you may have. Now, moving on to the way that the modules will be set up. I wanted to show you this. The modules are set up in such a way where I'm going to have them released based on week. So instead of just being clumped together up here at the top, what I'm going to be doing is I am going to be putting them into weeks. Now, for this week, this is still work that is not going to be graded yet. Some of the stuff that I'm going to do, I'll explain more in the following week. But for right now, what I will have set up in regular weeks will be kind of a standard thing. This intro video that will give you an overview of what's being done. I will include an Ed Puzzle. Ed Puzzle is essentially a video, but it allows me to embed notes, comments, as well as questions that you will answer and then earn points based on those answers. Now, as long as you're watching the video, you should be able to get 100% on these. That's not really a huge issue. For this first week, I'm not going to grade it, but I'd like you to test it out because I've not used the Canvas implementation of Ed Puzzle before. And so it's less than 5 minutes. It's got 2 questions that are in there, and I just want to see how it records your responses. For future Ed Puzzles, like next week's Ed Puzzle, there will be points associated with it. But for this first one, I just want to see what it does and see if it works for you. So we'll always start with a video from me that explains the week. Then you'll do an Ed Puzzle, and this Ed Puzzle will essentially be my way to take attendance to show that you're still alive and you're checking in. Then I'll have your assignment listed. For this one, I have upgraded this Pinterest Behance challenge to an assignment. While I'm not holding it against anybody yet, starting next week, I will be counting this one as the very first graded assignment. So you'll want to, if you want to get a jump start on this, I would recommend jumping in, playing around with this and seeing what works. If you don't have a microphone on your computer, that's fine. You can use your phone to use Screencast-O-Matic to be able to just use that to do the actual narration of the video. If you haven't picked up a computer from Scripps Ranch that is on the 24th this week, that will allow you to get a Chromebook, which won't give you full versions of the applications, but it will give you access to the apps, and it will give you the ability to record your audio. So that is an option as well. Now, let me move back here. So that'll be the very first assignment that I will have due on May 3rd, and that will be graded. Then I'll normally just have the rest of the regular assignments that we've been working on, and I'll be introducing a band project and the different components and ways that you'll be submitting work next week. But for this one, I'm going to also include each week just a challenge, some kind of photo or design related challenge. For this week, I'm looking for you to use Photoshop to create a famous person hybrid. And what I mean by that is here. Let me open up this inspiration site. This is where you take two different photos of famous people. Could be musicians, could be athletes, could be YouTube stars, whatever you want it to be. My recommendation is find two images where the people are looking straight forward. With them looking straight forward, it's much easier to line the eyes up. This particular digital artist remixed a whole bunch of different people together into some amazing looks. Like that's Channing Tatum and Pharrell. Absolutely incredible. This is 50 Cent and Shaquille O'Neal. Really, really well done. Now, I'm not expecting yours to necessarily be quite as clean and seamless as these, but it is a chance for you to kind of flex your Photoshop muscles just a little bit that may have been a little out of practice to be able to do this. Now, to be able to help out a little bit, what I've done is I've put a link here to a YouTube video that will walk you through some of the basics of merging some images together. Now, this won't be exactly perfect because you'll have to play around with your own skin tones and color corrections and stuff depending on the photos you use, but this will get you started. Now, if you run into problems and you can't actually get Photoshop to work, I did find another application that's called PhotoP. PhotoP is an online photo editor that actually has tutorials and everything built in, but it looks very, very similar to Photoshop. So let me pop one open and I'll show you. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click New Project. Gives me options of how big do I want to make it. That's fine. I'll just hit Create. And now you can see it has a lot of the same tools and a lot of the same symbols that are here. And I'm actually surprised that Photoshop hasn't actually gotten in on them for copyright infringement because there's so much similarities with the interface and the way that this is set up. But there's brushes, there's your character palette and your paragraph palette. You got your layers here, your masks, your special effects. See, this is how they got around it. Instead of it saying FX, it just says EFF, but everything else is pretty much the same. So you can actually use this web browser to do a lot of the work if you don't have access to Photoshop. So the challenges are always going to be optional, but give it a shot. It might be interesting to see. If you want to do more than one of those, absolutely, go to town. I'd love to see what you end up creating. And then I've got a link here for what if I don't have Photoshop. So it has some links to some videos as well as a link to PhotoP. There's a YouTube channel with some of the basics on it. Let me go back to modules. Almost finished. Let me just show you the last piece on here. And then at the end of the week, you have this simple little Google form that I'm going to count as an exit slip. When you click on this Google form, this is also my way of kind of checking attendance as well, just to see that everybody's up and alive. This piece here, it'll be short. All it is it's going to ask you to put in your first and last name, what period you're in, and then I'll have different questions. For this week, it's just 3 questions. What did you find hard this week and why? Did you learn something or figure something out this week that was interesting or useful? And what was it? Tell me a little bit more. I'm missing this interaction that I have with you, even just quick little small things of seeing what's going on in your life. So I really want to kind of know what's going on and get some feedback from you. And then I'll sometimes include an image that I want you to turn in or something else. But for this, it's just 3 questions. What was challenging this week and why? What did you learn this week that was interesting or useful? Could be something big, could be something small. And then outside of class, just let me know how things are going. What was the best thing you did this week? Did you watch something that was really cool? Did you eat something that was good? Did you read something? Did you listen to some song that you really liked? What is it? Tell me a little bit about it. I just miss the interaction. So that's how that will work. So with that being said, the way that the class will be structured is it'll have a similar sequence like this. We'll start out with some kind of welcome, an ed puzzle, which will be the short little video that you'll answer a couple questions, some assignments and resources, an optional challenge, and then a Google form exit slip that you'll submit. The majority of all of that, unless stated otherwise, will end up being due the following Sunday. However, since this week they're not officially starting as far as graded stuff, you'll notice that this assignment isn't due until the following Sunday, and that one for the famous people is also not due until the following Sunday. But if you want to start getting into the habit of working on stuff, there's a great chance this week, low stakes, to put stuff together, submit things, and test out some of these resources and see what's working and see what isn't working so that I can help you before we start with the official grading, which I assume is going to be when a lot more people are going to start adding more things in. So with the schedule being the way that it is, I'm not going to be as available. So definitely, if you have any questions, send me a message through Canvas or send me an email. Those are the two best ways to get a hold of me. And I hope you are all well. I hope you're safe. And I'm looking forward to seeing your screencast and hearing your voice again. Have a good week.